Now, you said a name that I have to ask you because you've worked with him in the past. Mike Tyson doing the whole exhibition with Roy Jones. I have to ask you because you worked with Mike. What's your thoughts on that whole thing? And is this?
Well,
Mhm.
I think it's a good deal because, for what I understand, the money, a lot of money is going to be going to charity. And I think that's a great thing for both of those guys to say, you know what, we're going to do this, but we're going to, give the money to charity. And I think that's good for both guys. And it's good for the sport of boxing to show that fighters do have a heart and that they can, at their age, get back in there and raise money to help others.
Now I have to ask you about the fight. I know it's an exhibition. People are, they might have headgear, or I'm not exactly sure on the whole
No,
thing.
they're not having headgear. They're having 12-ounce gloves on.
Is this safe for Roy Jones? I know we've seen Roy go up and do the John Ruiz thing, but this is Mike Tyson. Does Mike still pose that threat? Is this smart for Roy? Do you think Roy could maybe touch the canvas a little bit? Would it go that far?
Look, I think people forget how good Roy Jones was as a fighter. Roy is, that's something that you never forget. You don't ever forget, your skills. And Roy was a skilled fighter. So, being at the same saying that, of course Mike is a good puncher, he's a big puncher. But Roy knows how to roll from punches, he knows how to catch punches, and, he knows all these different things. So I'm sure that has never left him. And I'm sure he still has those capabilities. So I think it's, we're going to have to wait and see. But, I think these guys do realize that it is an exhibition, but they want to put their best foot forward at the same time. But I don't think they're going to go in there and try to kill each other.
If you were in the corner of Mike now or the corner of Roy, what would you tell Roy he needs to do? Or what would you tell Mike you would need to do in this exhibition to have great success?
Well, if I was in the corner with Roy, definitely I'd tell him, look, you're trying to just hold the gun of the ring, step around with your jab, don't get trapped on the ropes or in the corner, and just try to keep the fight in the middle of the ring. And, of course, if I was on the other side with Mike, I'd tell Mike to back him up, try to get him in the corner or on the ropes, and try to use all that to your advantage. Don't let him move. Make him have to stay and fight, not be able to sit on the outside and box you.
And, I guess when you're talking about boxing and great abilities, I always ask you every time I see you about Gilmore Rigondeaux, amazing fighter. What's working with him? Anything in the works? Any potential matchups or fights? Is people still avoiding him? Do people still want to give him a fight?
Well, I spoke to Louis Cooper today about Rigondeaux, and he told me he's working on something for him. So maybe October, November, he'll be back in the ring.
Now I know they're working on trying to get the Inoue fight with Casemiro. Talked about it, and different networks. But do you think that fight's still something that's possible, or?
I think it is possible because I think Rigondeaux really wants to fight him. He's been asking for this guy since he went back down to 118, and he fight. That's a good decision.
And if by any chance that fight doesn't get made, there's a title fight with Donaire and Wally. Would you guys entertain that fight as well, seeing that Donaire's fighting on these networks?
I'm sure they really never fight anybody. This kid has never backed. He's never backed down from anybody, and and I know he won't back down from, especially Donaire. When he's fought Donaire and beat Donaire before, it was a good fight. Both guys are much older now, and I'm sure it will still be a good fight. But the young Marine don't back down from anybody. So, but as if the fights can be made, that's the whole deal.
I do see like a three-headed monster kind of going on. And Rigo had a tremendous performance against Donaire back then, and Donaire had a great performance against Inoue. So I would love to see Rigo and Inoue, and I'm sure everyone does too. So hopefully we can get that fight to get made. I do also have to ask, because you have such a large camp and you're not stressing of one fighter leaving the camp, you got plenty. What other fighters do you have that the fight fans should be tuned in and keep an eye out that's coming out of the camp?
Well, I got one of my kids, Justin Paldo, is fighting on August 22nd. I believe that's a Fox show. He'll be on that fight. The kid is undefeated, 12-0 in the Dominican Republic. Then, of course, Jermall Charlo, and he's fighting Sergiy Derevyanchenko on September 26th. Then October the 24th, I got Ryan Carl fighting Mario Barrios for the 140 regular title. And, then I got some other fighters. I got a cruiserweight, Evitova Pochi, 9-0 with 9 knockouts. He's from Nigeria, really, really good fighter. And, you'll be seeing him pretty soon, hopefully in October also.
So Ronnie Shields camp's doing good. He's doing real good.
Yeah, absolutely.